All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a genuinely fascinating career trajectory. We are charting the evolution of an engineer, specifically diving into the professional journey of Aamir Bagwan. If you want a textbook, or rather a real-world example of what modern forward-thinking DevOps evolution actually looks like, this is it. We're talking about a guy who went from writing front-end, user-facing applications all the way to architecting these massive AI-integrated cloud infrastructures. It's an absolute masterclass in adapting to the cutting edge of tech.
And that brings us to the big question we're unpacking today. How in the world does a mobile app developer evolve into an enterprise cloud architect? The sheer distance between those two disciplines is wild. Think about it. On one side, you've got the highly visual, very user-centric world of mobile apps. On the exact opposite side, you have this invisible, incredibly complex, mission-critical world of enterprise infrastructure and cloud automation. We're going to map out exactly how Aamir managed to bridge that massive gap.
But hey, before we rewind the clock, let's just take a quick peek at where Aamir is sitting right now. Today, his work at Hexaware Technologies is defined by two major pillars: enterprise scale and AI automation. He isn't just, keeping servers running, he's building these ultra-secure foundations for huge organizations adopting the cloud, and he's literally weaving artificial intelligence right into the fabric of the software development lifecycle. So keep that peek in mind as we figure out how he climbed the mountain.
You can actually see the building blocks of his career coming together over the last decade. It started back in 2012 with iOS development, followed by a super strategic pivot in 2015 into Python automation. By 2020, he stepped up into full-stack DevOps leadership, which ultimately brought him to enterprise cloud and AI today. It is a very deliberate, logical progression. Every single phase perfectly sets the stage for the next one.
Okay, phase one, from iOS to automation. We have to start at the beginning, where his focus was 100% on the user.
Just picture this extreme contrast for a second. Back in 2014, working with Fifth Bar, Aamir was deep into coding iOS apps. He actually built a self-driving car rental app for major brands like Avis and Budget. We're talking apps published on the App Store, used globally, the whole 9 yards. And now, it's a total inversion. He went from stressing about whether a button looks perfectly rounded on a smartphone screen all the way down into the deepest invisible layers of back-end infrastructure, stuff like Azure landing zones and super complex Kubernetes clusters. That is a massive leap, going from fixing UI glitches to orchestrating the nervous system of an entire data center.
So how did he pull that off? Well, the secret sauce was automation. Between 2015 and 2019, while at Tata Consultancy Services and Wipro, Aamir really built up his infrastructure chops. He started writing Python-based automation for Vodafone inventory checks. He figured out how to scrape data from Oracle service management databases, and crucially, he got his hands dirty with networking. He was supporting and automating Cisco, Juniper, and Alcatel routers, working directly with TCP/IP and serial interfaces. This era was an absolute game-changer for him. By mastering Python scripts and network routing, he laid the exact groundwork he needed to build the complex CI/CD pipelines he'd be running later on.
Which leads us to phase two, leading DevOps at Synchronon. Armed with that developer mindset from his iOS days, plus some serious networking and automation skills, he was perfectly primed for 2020.
He stepped into full-stack DevOps leadership at Synchron Technologies. And man, the sheer breadth of the tech stack he owned here is staggering. He wasn't just on the team, he was leading and mentoring a cross-functional DevOps unit, owning the entire end-to-end strategy. He was using Terraform to spin up Azure infrastructure and building out AKS cluster environments with integrated tools. Think Certificate Manager, Nginx ingress controllers, and private DNS zones to make deployments a breeze. On the delivery side, GitLab pipelines for seamless continuous integration and continuous delivery. And to keep everything running like a well-oiled machine, he hooked up monitoring using Prometheus and Grafana. He was quite literally designing resilient, cloud-based architectures from scratch. Actually, scratch that. Let's pause for just a second, because this concept is absolutely crucial if we're talking about modern DevOps. Infrastructure as code, or IaaC. Basically, this is the practice of managing cloud data centers not by clicking around some web dashboard manually, but through machine-readable code files. Aamir used Terraform for this at Synchron. By writing code to deploy your infrastructure, your cloud environments instantly become repeatable, scalable, and version-controlled. It's a massive leap forward in managing complex systems, and it's pretty much non-negotiable for enterprise IT today. All right, let's jump to phase 3, enterprise scale at Hexaware. This is his current role as a senior DevOps engineer starting mid-2025.
And here, we are talking about massive, enterprise-wide impact. Aamir is designing and implementing enterprise-scale Azure landing zones. For context, these are the highly secure, compliant foundations that big corporations absolutely need before they can safely move to the cloud. His Kubernetes game is also next level here. He's deploying applications using Helm charts, actively troubleshooting pod failures, configuring traffic ingress controllers, and tightly enforcing role-based access control, or RBAC, to keep the cluster governance locked down tight. On top of that, he's architecting and optimizing GitHub Actions pipelines to speed up delivery cycles. Just incredible precision across the entire lifecycle of enterprise apps.
And now we get to Phase 4. AI-powered workflow innovations. This is where the story gets really futuristic. We're talking about plugging artificial intelligence straight into the engineering workflow.
Let's break down exactly how he did this, because it's brilliantly elegant. Aamir built an AI-powered pull request reviewer agent that hooks right into GitHub. Step 1. A developer leaves a specific trigger comment on a pull request. Step 2. That AI agent wakes up, activating and leveraging a custom Markdown file. That file holds all the specific coding standards, context, and review rules for that particular project. Step 3. The AI performs an automated code review based exactly on those parameters. It takes a historically tedious, manual process and completely automates it.
80. I really want to emphasize this number. By implementing that AI-powered PR reviewer agent, Aamir reduced manual code review effort by 80%. Think about how many hundreds of hours that saves an entire development team. That is precious time developers get back to actually build new features instead of squinting at syntax and standard checks all day. A massive win for continuous delivery. And the guy is making absolutely sure he stays ahead of the curve. Looking at his recent and ongoing certifications pushing into 2026, he is aggressively future-proofing himself. He is going after the Oracle Agentic AI Foundation Cert, a Microsoft Applied Skills certification for generating reports with AI research agents right alongside advanced GitHub Actions credentials. He's moving way beyond basic automation and straight into agentic AI, meaning AI systems that can independently plan and execute complex tasks right inside an infrastructure environment. Honestly, this quote from his resume sums him up perfectly. He's a seasoned senior DevOps engineer with deep expertise in cloud infrastructure, a strong focus on reliability, performance, and continuous delivery. What makes Aamir such a powerhouse is how he blends those non-negotiable traditional requirements, reliability and performance, with the absolute bleeding edge of modern AI and automation.
So this leaves us with a really big question. Aamir's journey from tweaking iOS UI to deploying AI-powered GitHub review agents is amazing, but it's also a sneak peek into where the whole industry is heading. As agentic AI gets smarter and more capable of making autonomous decisions, how is this level of automation going to completely reshape the next generation of enterprise cloud infrastructure? It's a wild thing to think about, and engineers with foundations like Aamir's are exactly the ones who will be building that future. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope you found this breakdown as insightful and fun as I did.